How you doing? And welcome to another edition of Objectively Biased with me, your host, the objective one, Steve Fogbank. Now, I told you guys I was going to do another NCAA edition. This is March Madness Part 2. So, how's your brackets? Here's mine. Michigan State winning it all. There goes that one. Here's another one. Michigan State in the Final Four. I ripped up the other two that I had, but this is a trend. Now, if you had watched my previous installment on NCAA, I had selected Michigan State, Kansas, and North Carolina as my top 3 teams to, be the winners. That I felt that those were the 3 best teams in this tournament. I also said, don't bet on this tournament. I went against my own conscience, if you will, because I'm a gambler and I bet. I've got 2 brackets left. Now, one bracket is one of those, you just earn points by round and bet by round. The other one is the one we most commonly do. And with that one, I still have a Final Four. Yes, it's unbelievable. But I have Virginia, North Carolina, Kansas, and Oklahoma. But I have Kansas winning. Now, I will say this. After watching North Carolina play and watching the effort that they put in, especially on the defensive side of the ball, if North Carolina gets past Indiana, then I think
win the whole fucking thing.
And that's all I have to say about that. Now, I did pick 3 Cinderellas. And the 3 Cinderellas that I picked were Purdue. Yeah, we know how that fucking went. Indiana and Miami. Now, Indiana and Miami are still in the Sweet 16. I think they're not getting out of the Sweet 16. I don't believe Indiana is going to have the capability of overcoming what North Carolina brings to the table. And Miami, unfortunately, they've played too inconsistent for the first 2 rounds for me to believe that they could get past Villanova. So without further ado, let's get the bracket breakdown. So we're going to look at the South region and the way it's set up right now. You got Kansas and Maryland. Now, Maryland was a preseason favorite. Everybody enjoyed Maryland. They got a very good team. Melo Trimble's a solid sophomore point guard. He's averaging something like 16 points a game. So he's handling his business. Their problem has been they've been inconsistent. Their entire season has been one big roller coaster. Kansas, on the other hand, has been the epitome of consistency. 30 wins, 4 losses. First 2 round games, they handled their business accordingly. And more importantly, what we saw in that last game against UConn, not so much Ellison and Mason, but Wayne Selden, their junior guard. 22 points, 7 rebounds against Connecticut. Now, Wayne Selden is a guy who's averaging about 12, 13 points a game. We know Ellison and Mason are going to bring their A game. These are 2 juniors and seniors who, this is it for them. They're coming to play. They're coming to win. But if Wayne Selden brings his A game, it is going to be very, very tough for Maryland to overcome that. For anybody, for that matter, to overcome that. And overcome the fact that Kansas is a complete team and Bill Self is one of the best coaches in the NCAA. There are 3 check marks that you got to check off when you're looking at a team. Number 1, coaching. Number 2, their overall game. Number 3, do they have star players? Now, while Kansas doesn't have the star players that Maryland has, the other 2 check out really well. Whereas Maryland, not so much. I like Maryland. I like what they got. But Melo Trimble is going to have the game of his life if they're going to get past Kansas. So I'm going with Kansas there. Miami, Villanova. Like I said, Miami, Cinderella team. They're going to ride or die with Angel Rodriguez. He's shooting 37% from the field. This team rebounds well. They have the size advantage. They get better second chance points than Villanova does. Here's the problem. Villanova is shooting 59% from the field, best in the tournament right now. And they're not an inside team. It's not layups. They're running you up and down the court. They're shooting well from the perimeter, and they're playing very good defense. And after what I saw from Miami in the first 2 rounds, especially that Wichita State game that they up by 19 and pissed away that lead in 5 minutes, I'm not confident in my Cinderella pick with Miami going up against Villanova. Quite frankly, I expect Villanova to move on and meet up with Kansas in that Elite Eight match. Go to the West. Now, the West is the weakest region, I believe. And Duke gets put there. I tell you, the NCAA loves Duke. They're going to be going up against Oregon. I said it before, Oregon's overrated. I'll say it again, Oregon's overrated. They're shooting less than 40% from the field right now. That's not a winning team. They're just not. They don't have any star players. And then when you look at Duke, Grayson Allen, Brandon Ingram, I mean, these guys are handling their business. They're coming to play. The one thing that does scare me with Oregon is if they are able to slow the game down, they got a good rebounding team. And Yale, just to put it into perspective, Yale out-rebounded Duke 42-28. If Duke doesn't hit their shots and Oregon is actually able to slow this game down and shoot better than 40% from the field, we might have a game. And you can have an upset because, yes, I don't believe Oregon is a solid number 1. So Duke losing to Oregon, for me, would be an upset. Moving on, Texas A&M, Oklahoma. Daniel House, Texas A&M's guard, saved that team completely. Saved them last week. And no small feat. 25 points, double overtime. I mean, he brought his A game to win that. But now they're going to go up against Buddy Hield, who in my opinion is the best college player in basketball right now, not Ben Simmons. He's averaging 25 points a game. He went 11 for 20. 11 for 20 in that game against VCU for 36 points. Now, I believe Oklahoma is going to get past Texas A&M. It's going to be a dogfight, but Oklahoma can get past them. The problem is I don't see Oklahoma getting much further. 60% of their offense is coming from Buddy Hield right now. You can't do that. They've got the star player. They got a good coach. They just don't have a really good team around them. So while I like Oklahoma over A&M, if they got to play Duke, I don't like them over Duke, and I'm a little nervous about my Final Four pick because I got them going to the Final Four. Now over in the East bracket, you've got North Carolina against Indiana. Again, another one of my glass slipper Cinderellas. Indiana is the most complete team. I said it then and I'll say it now. They're not playing as good as Villanova. Villanova is knocking it out the box right now. They're the best team right now after the first 2 rounds of this tournament. Indiana's not far behind, and Yogi Ferrell is a huge reason why. He's putting up the numbers. He's leading the team, but he is going to have to shoot much, much better, especially from 3-point line, if they're going to even have a prayer's chance at beating North Carolina. He was not him, he was 1 for 5. The team was 6 for 21 from 3-point range. They shot at 28%. You got away with that against Kentucky. you're not facing the best defensive team in the tournament, in my opinion. You add Bryce Johnson's 16 points and 10 rebounds a game, and Marcus Page, Carolina's going to be on the move. I said it in the beginning of this video. They get past Indiana, Carolina's going to win it all. I really, really believe that. And I hate agreeing with Jay Billis. But Carolina, look out. They get past Indiana. I think it's over. Notre Dame, Wisconsin. Not much there. I don't think any of us expected them to be there. Notre Dame's going to have to shoot better from the field than they did in the last game. And Wisconsin, with Hayes playing as poorly as he did, they got a huge boost from Bronson Cohen against Xavier, but Hayes is going to have to bring his A game to this game against Notre Dame if they expect to get past them. I think Wisconsin's the better team. I believe they got the better star players. I believe they got better coaching. So I think Wisconsin will be able to advance and get past Notre Dame, but it's a moot point because whoever Wisconsin has to play, whether it be Indiana or North Carolina, they're not getting past them. And finally, in the Midwest region, you've got Virginia and Iowa State. Now, Virginia's the BPI favorite to win it all. Kansas, I believe, comes in second. But these two teams are actually evenly matched. And I say evenly matched because they both score around the same amount of points per game. They both rebound the same. I mean, you look down the stat board and everything, from assists, team rebound, team D, everything is just almost identical. The biggest difference is Virginia locks you down with defense. And when I say they lock you down, they lock you down. They don't allow you to score. They're only allowing 57 points per game this season. Right now, that's the lowest in the tournament. Best defense overall. Even though North Carolina's been playing better defense for the past 15 or 16 games, Virginia's had the best defense throughout the tournament, throughout the regular season. So they're going to be a very tough team. The one thing that I would say about Virginia is if Malcolm Brogdon can continue playing the way he's played on both sides of the ball, defensively, he's a lockdown defender, and offensively, Iowa State doesn't stand a chance in hell. And then the final game in that region, Gonzaga and Syracuse. I have nothing there. Because, let's be honest, if anybody watching this had Gonzaga or Syracuse getting out of the Sweet 16, fuck it, I've been doing something wrong and I should be following you. Because there's no way in hell you could have told me that either one of those two teams were going to be meeting in the Sweet 16, let alone getting out of it. Once again, Michigan State, I thank you. You suck. And now we come to the objective thought. And the objective thought today is going to stay with the NCAA and actually the enjoyment that we've seen in the NCAA tournament. And it's because there's so many teams that are junior and senior lading teams, led by upperclassmen who have developed a camaraderie, if you will, with the other players around them. And it's made for great basketball. Now, earlier, Ben Simmons had reportedly, the big forward from LSU, declared for the draft. Surprise. But he pulled out from all of his classes and went back home to wait till the draft starts. I'm no fan of the one and done. If you can do it right and get the right players, like John Calipari has done for his entire career, and has made a success out of it, I guess it's okay. But when you start seeing these players going to other schools and trying to make it somewhere else because they may not be able to make it to the big school, or may not be able to make it in the big school, whether it be for academic reasons or just they're not as talented as they thought they were, it hurts college basketball. It also hurts the NBA. I always like to refer to Kemba Walker. Played all 4 years at UConn, won a national title at UConn. And he wasn't one of the best guards that people had selected. Yet, if you look at his status right now, he's playing great basketball in the NBA. I think it's important that we enjoy watching what we're watching here in this tournament, because we're watching players who have played for 2, 3, 4 seasons already together. You're seeing much better quality of basketball being played now, hell, that I've seen in the last decade in the NCAA tournament. So whether you've got a horse in this race or not, sit back, relax, and enjoy this. Because we may not get another tournament like this for maybe another 5 to 10 years. And with that being said, it is I, the Objective One, your host for Objectively Biased. Again, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Stephen Fogmeg, and to the Instagram, S_Fogmeg. Have a good day.